A new Dragon Ball project has finally been announced after such a long time, and today I'm going to prove it to you because some news has finally come out. Yeah, and it's probably been about 6 months since I've talked about any news at all because I had nothing to talk about. But now Dragon Ball has announced a new project, all of this with a teaser. For those who don't know, a teaser is basically a tease that can come in the form of a video or an image, and in this case, it's an image. And what an image! This image that's showing up here on the screen. Illustrated by Toyotaro, simply the successor of Akira Toriyama, currently responsible for Dragon Ball, which could finally bring an end to Dragon Ball Super. As sad as it may seem, some news also came out. Around this week, Toyotaro said he wants to start a new project. Maybe it's an individual project. That way, we could have the end of Dragon Ball Super, still with the ideas that Akira Toriyama left while he was alive, with Toyotaro finishing it. To make room for Toyotaro's next work and finish Dragon Ball Super, which would be the canonical sequel to Dragon Ball Z, and maybe Q Yoko, Sasuke Toriyama, Akira Toriyama's son. But these guys continue Dragon Ball in another direction, which would be the path of Dragon Ball Daima, reworking things. And then with another story which, although it was started by Akira Toriyama, I don't know if we could call it canonical. Today I'm going to talk about this amazing news. And if you're a Dragon Ball fan, go ahead and hit the hype art button below if you're on your phone. If you're on television or any other device, leave a like because a new Dragon Ball project definitely deserves it, and everyone needs to know about it. Help out the channel here, which has now reached 400,000 subscribers, and welcome back to the Z Universe if you've been away. The illustration is basically the one on the screen, which is a clear reference to the father-son Kamehameha from the Cell Saga, where Goku had already died, but Gohan pulled off that epic attack. If we look at Gohan's right arm, it's injured just like it was in the original scene, which also gives us a huge sense of nostalgia. And it also shows us how much Toyotaro, Akira Toriyama's successor, has been improving his drawing style. Another interesting thing we can notice is that maybe this gives us a spoiler about something coming up in Dragon Ball. Because basically, this is the illustration for 10 years of Dragon Ball Super. Yeah, it feels like Dragon Ball Super started just yesterday, but it's already been 10 years. And if we consider the movie Battle of Gods, which still carried the title Dragon Ball Z but was actually already a transition to Dragon Ball Super, it's already been 12 years. It feels like it was just yesterday, right guys? Besides that, it was announced that details about a new special project will be presented in this month's edition of VJump magazine, which, for those who don't know, is one of the biggest magazines in all of Japan. And on the official channel, Victor Uchida, who is basically the official journalist for Dragon Ball, the one who brings us production news, shared a really interesting new update in his video. I'll post the screenshot here for you, where it says, quote, "Hello, this is the editor of VJump, Victor Asada. We have tons of information about Dragon Ball to go through, so let's get started. Information about a certain project will also be announced in this issue. You'll have to read VJump to find out the details. New project, guys." With that, fans are already left with that bombshell in their minds, wanting a new anime. The return of the manga with the continuation of Black Frieza, or even the return of Dragon Ball Daima. Well, all of that already has a date. The VJump magazine will release this poster in the June issue on the 20th, along with some information about a certain specific project related to the franchise. Fans speculate that this could mark the return of the Dragon Ball Super manga, which has been on hiatus since the end of the superhero arc. And it's already been over a year, guys. It's true that in the meantime a bonus chapter was released, but it was just to complete the number of chapters for the volume that was going to be released. It wasn't a big story either. I even posted it here on the channel and very few people watched it because it really wasn't that interesting. The artwork shows Goku in Ultra Instinct and Gohan in his beast form, performing a father-son Kamehameha together, with Gohan injured in the arm, a direct reference to the fight against Cell. The scene is full of symbolism and nostalgia, being seen as a possible foreshadowing of a new future scene in the manga or anime, with Goku and Gohan at their peak, fighting together. We've already seen that they have similar powers now. And recently, Toyotaro also released a really cool cover, which had Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, and even Broly, who for the first time in the manga got his green transformation. But it's not that Berserker form from the movie, it looks like a controlled green transformation similar to Kale's form, which shows that now Broly will finally master his powers during training with Goku, which is pretty much a spoiler, just like this cover could also be a spoiler, a preview. He also revealed about that old cover where everyone had the same power, which seemed absurd and really was absurd. But with the same power, he probably means similar levels because it doesn't make sense, let's be honest, for Piccolo, Orange, to have the same level as Goku Ultra Instinct, Vegeta Ultra Ego, even Gohan Beast, or Broly. So it means that none of them would be embarrassed fighting each other, so their levels are similar. And this cover follows the style of that old cover. Although most people believe it's the return of the manga, there are rumors that it could be a new project by Toyotaro, possibly presented at the Japan Expo in July, with this announcement now in June, but more details in July, which would be clearly and deeply disappointing. But what would be the point of it being Toyotaro's new project? This has even been talked about in recent months. I just didn't bring the news because I don't bring news anymore. The channel's focus isn't news, only when there's something really huge. If they show a Dragon Ball Super cover, why would it be a new project if the Dragon Ball Super cover really doesn't make sense? And the revelations might happen before the 20th, since VJump leaks usually appear between the 17th and 19th, with early scans and spoilers. In other words, as soon as I post this video, at any moment, I might bring news about the manga's return or news about the anime's return. Which wouldn't be strange since Dragon Ball broke historical records for Toei Animation in 2025. And when you think, Toei Animation? Animation? There's not even any Dragon Ball animation going on right now. Yeah, exactly, we had Diamond, but it was only for a short period of time. Even so, Toei made $181,770,000. Yes, dollars. Surpassing even One Piece, which always has an active manga and anime. And it established itself as the company's most profitable franchise, just like it does every year. So Dragon Ball, whether it's releasing new content or not, will keep being the golden goose for Toei Animation and also for Shueisha. And if you're one of those fans who really likes Dragon Ball but is completely lost about what's going on with the franchise right now, I'm going to leave a video here on the screen summarizing why Dragon Ball Super hasn't come back. There have been several announcements and leaks in recent years, but it hasn't returned, why it's on hold, and what should happen in the future of the franchise. All of this has to do with a copyright dispute to see who will keep Akira Toriyama's legacy, and conflicts between Shueisha, the holder of the copyright for the Dragon Ball Super manga, Capsule Corporation Tokyo, Akio Yoko's company. He's the executive producer of Dragon Ball and was Akira Toriyama's right-hand man when he was alive, Toei Animation itself, and Akira Toriyama's family. So the main reason revolves around that, and the conflict is so absurd that I'll let you see it in another video. So leave your opinion about this topic in the comments below. What do you think? What will this new Dragon Ball project be, and what are your expectations for it? Leave your like, it's really important, and share it with your friend who likes Dragon Ball. We've reached 400,000 subscribers. The next goal, yes, is 500,000 subscribers, which would be really special, and you can help me keep bringing the best content for you all. And that's basically it, guys. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll stop here. See you.